Hello, this is Eric with Bulldog Rooter on December 10th of 2020 at job 102-43669. What we have here is an Orangeburg line that's in pretty rough shape. It's a little bit difficult to get my camera in a good spot where you can see it, but where you can see this pooling water is a root intrusion into this Orangeburg. I was able to get the bottom of those roots chewed up with my small cable, and I did not put my large cable down here knowing that it was Orangeburg, not knowing the condition of the line. So I wanted to get the line drained so that I could see it, and now that I can, I'm a little nervous to put a big cable down here because it could potentially cause more damage to this pipe. That root intrusion is coming through at about 64 feet from the clean out in the house here. That water is pooling there because you can see on the bottom of the screen that this pipe is no longer rounded. It is bubbling and channel rotting and causing the pipe to become very soft and brittle, which also makes me conclude that I should not put a large cable down there with a large root on it, because it can chew those bubbling up. You can see that this pipe has a lot going on in it down there. Orangeburg, its life expectancy was only about 50 years or so. This line's going on about 77 years. There has been multiple estimates giving on this line. And multiple times this line has been cleaned, which also, the multiple times the line's been cleaned also makes me nervous to put my big cable down there, because every time Orangeburg is cleaned, it can cause some damage to it. And I believe that this is probably the last time that this line is going to be able to be cleaned with cabling. A new lining, which estimates have been done, and or replacement is highly recommended at this point. Because of that root intrusion down there, you can see down there towards what appears to be the end of the pipe. That is a root intrusion. That's just going to probably continue to grow, and because it's only the bottom of the roots that I was able to chew up there, another blockage is very likely to happen. So kind of reaching an emergent point here of getting this taken care of. As I pull back, you can see that there is a lot of debris on the bottom of this line. That right there is another pool of water that's being held up by the shape of the pipe and sludge. There is a lot of sludge in this line, which could be a mix of both naturally occurring sludge because of sewage and mixture of flaking and bubbling in the line, perhaps disrepair. And these areas of sludge like this one here are probably due to the line being in such bad shape on the bottom that the water's having a hard time flowing out because of it. You can still see my small cable is in the line there, and as I pull back, you can see that there's quite a bit going on. This looks like part of another root intrusion. You can see some sludge collapsing down in there. That's an area there that I was able to push my camera through. There's a lot going on in this line here, so the sooner this can be handled, the better. You can see there again, as the camera rose up there, it's raising up onto a hump of disrepair and sludge buildup here. Some more roots coming through the line there. That spot there by itself can become a major issue. This debris is going to wash down into those root areas. The roots are going to catch it. Now you can see here the channeling. If you look to the left of the screen, the cable's there to the other side of it. You can see a clear ridge along the bottom of that pipe there. That is channeling in the pipe, channel rot in the pipe, and just another cause of issue for me to put a large cable with a bit on it down there, because it can just continue to rip that pipe and create more damage, potentially collapsing it. There's another spot right there where you can see that pool of water. That is because the pipe is very close to just being completely gone. Being able to hold that much water in that one section is not a good sign. It's probably close to a hole in the line there. Got some more sludge buildup and channeling in the line in this section. And right now I'm at about 45 feet out from the clean out here. There was an estimate given for a new liner back in January of 2020 and then again in July of 2020. And the progression of this line in the last year appears to have gotten much worse than it was. Still a potential candidate for a new lining, but as you can see there is another clear large divot in the line that is holding water. Right there is a large section of bubbling in the line, with another root intrusion just above it there. You can clearly see the camera raising up and down into these pockets in the line that are holding water. That's another very large bubble in the line there. This is another section that appears to be bellied in the line. You can see some of the water moving along. So I've pulling my camera back. It's allowing some of the water to flow down. But this is going to be a belly in the line that's holding quite a bit of water. You can see that the camera is starting to raise up here onto the other side of it. There we go. It just dropped down past the other side of that belly there. Potentially another bubble that we dropped down past. Appears to be another root intrusion there. Right here, this belly is bad enough that the camera is actually underwater. Raising back up out of that now. On here. Right here is where the Orangeburg piping meets the clay tile. Let's see. This appears to be clay tile. There's some pitting in that clay tile as well. You can see there to the left of the camera. Some scarring in that. That's a spot where things can potentially break. A lot of sludge in the line here. A lot of sludge in this clay tile piece. Root intrusions coming through it here. Right there, that's a major offset. You can see towards the top of the screen there, you can see that thick orange with some roots coming through at that. That's a major offset. That's going to create lots of issues in this line as well. So right here, there are some roots in the line in this clay tile. That's going to hold up some sludge as well. Now we're at about 14 feet from the clean out as we pull back. Right here's another large root intrusion. You can see the thickness of that root coming through there. That's because the disrepair in the line at that spot is enough to allow large roots to come growing through the line. As well as this section here. Lots of roots coming through, growing in. That joint there is the culprit for the roots laying in the line here. These sections here were not the cause of today's blockage. It was that one at 64 feet. See here to the left of the screen, that's another connection coming into the line. As I'm about to pull out of the clean out here, in the basement, right there. We are definitely in need of having this line replaced and or relined. Again, highly recommend not cabling this line anymore. There's a lot going on down there. Cabling this line again could potentially create more damage to the line and make an actual emergency repair replacement that would need to occur at that time if that were to happen. So again, this is Eric with Bulldog Rooter. Appreciate your time here and look forward to servicing you again in the future. Thank you.